Hey everyone, it's Sunday, August 10th, 2025. It's 8:19 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Talking about IXHL in Connects Health. Going into the week of August 11th through the 15th, right? So we ended at like 0.44 on Friday. Thursday it went up to 0.57, 57 cents. Looks like the shorts, I mean, by the looks of it, it looks like what happened was that, I don't want to make any assumptions, but it looks like shorts covered somewhat in dark pools and then somewhat covered in the lit exchange. And the stock started to move up, and I'm sure, they trapped a lot of retail in that move. Everyone thought it was going to be a big move, and everybody jumped in and tried to day trade it. And then they, the next morning on Friday, we get an announcement that, the science or medical stuff is like phenomenal, and that the CEO doesn't understand why the stock is being manipulated, but it is being manipulated, etc. And then the stock ends at like 44 cents for the week. And if you notice, I think it started at 40 cents or something like that in the beginning of the week. So what can we expect tomorrow? I'm going to watch the 15-minute candle, the first 15-minute candle, and see what happens. And we'll take a look, and, we'll see what happens. We may go start to coil and jump into the 50s or 60s. We may retrace into the, if it's the first 15-minute candle closes red and starts going into the 30s, I may reload down there. I think what we were all trying to figure out is like, one of the things I tried to figure out this weekend was, are we on the threshold list or not? Because I thought we were on the threshold list, and now suddenly we're not on the threshold list. And I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong. Maybe it's because I'm not looking up the capital market, NASDAQ capital market threshold list. Maybe I'm missing that. I don't know. If you guys can find it, let me know. But it looks like we're not on a list anymore. I don't know. Can somebody figure out how that works? Because I certainly have not been able to figure it out this weekend. Which would be odd. One of the other things I figured out is if we do get back on that threshold list, it is a 13-day period of 13 trading days, and then we have the shorts or the market maker who's allowing all of it, or just doing it themselves. It's probably Kenny at Citadel. Has to supposedly deliver the shares, right? So the FTDs and all that stuff. Anyway, I don't know. So really the only thing I can think about to talk about today is just like the most important thing that we want from the CEO right now is some numbers. We need to know the legit numbers so that we can kind of weaponize ourselves against the short selling and the market maker. And until the company provides us with a list of numbers, like a balance sheet, that says that these are the shares outstanding, this is how many shares we sold, this is how, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know anything. What's the float? What are the shares outstanding? Is it 260 million shares outstanding, or is it 100 million shares outstanding? Who knows at this point? And that puts us in a really bad position. And then there's a lot of people who are like, oh, look, institutions are loading up institutions. And I look at the institutions, it's like, that's not an institutional investment. 4,000 shares is not an institutional investment. Why should we be excited about somebody who bought 4,000 shares? You know what I mean? Or even like 100,000. Like, where are the institutions with like 1 million shares, And let's talk about that. So I guess what's on my mind is just that, I believe that this stock is probably the most valuable stock that I could possibly be invested in. So I'm keeping all my ammo, all my dry powder ready to just continue to average down and buy more and more shares, because I can't see a better setup to be in, especially with all the dark pool and short interest. And you know what I mean? Because you're basically in this machine that you can just pile into, and then they're gonna release the valve. It's gonna shoot up. You can take profit if you want. If you don't, you can hold it, and it's gonna go back down. They're gonna short it back down. They're gonna release the valve. It's gonna go up, and they're gonna keep doing this until the company gives us real numbers, like an earnings report or any kind of real numbers at all. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the real numbers. We need to know how many real shares there are outstanding. We need to also know, we need to know a little bit more information about phase 3. That would be nice, like a phase 3 update. All this stuff is coming, and keep in mind, there's other drugs. There's the general anxiety drug, right? There's the rheumatoid arthritis drug. So there's plenty of good news coming. When I first started trading the stock, I used to think, and I did, I said my whole hustle for this stock when I first started trading in May was, wow, this is really cheap. I'm going to pile in here. And because it looks like these phase 2 top line result comments, like they're saying that they're going to report phase 2 in a month, and they've already basically reported it. That's what my thought process was in May. But I also thought, but I'm going to get the hell out of here immediately after they release those phase 2 trial results, because for sure they're going to dump millions of shares into the float and dilute the stock and take money off the table. And sure enough, that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. And but here we are now on August 10th, Sunday at 8:27 a.m. And my thoughts have changed on this. I have a different perspective now. And it's not because I'm like such a huge fan of Joel Latham, because I would love to be, but he needs to be more transparent with actual data. Okay? And I'm not talking about scientific data. We already know that we have a winner there. I'm talking about, like, when you invest in a stock, when you invest in a company, the numbers are everything. Without giving us accurate numbers and without us knowing how many shares there are, what are the debt? What's the liabilities? What are the assets? Like, how can anyone evaluate the stock price, right? And if we can't evaluate the stock price, that means that the short sellers or the hedge funds or whatever, or Citadel, Kenneth, is going to continue to hammer the stock down over and over and over again. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to say this and shut up. Oh, there's plenty of other stocks that have been in situations like this before. Volkswagen, Overstock, GameStop, and they've done certain things. I posted it on Twitter. This went on for I don't know, so long with Overstock, and they finally released PR announcing that they were going to give a digital dividend, and in order to do that, they needed to, I guess, have all the shares accounted for. And when they did that, when they made that announcement that they were going to do a digital dividend, what happened was the shorts covered, or the market maker. Market maker and the shorts are the same thing to me now these days. Because I see it in every single stock. AMC, every stock is getting, just obliterated and just crime. And you have these pathetic little dick billionaires like Kenneth Griffin just robbing us blind. Have a good day.